Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am again, Eddie Marcus, standing here on this Sunday, the 20th of December. I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We've waited 4 years to get rid of Donald Trump, hoping that we would be having gone through these 4 years to see how ugly things can be and how ugly they are, that maybe we could make a change now to take us a lot better than where we have been. And we see ourselves making a change from one president, Republican, to another president, Democrat, both men, both white. And we're asking ourselves, is there going to be a difference? The truth of the matter is, we know that at the end of the day, that there are going to be people in America suffering. There are going to be people who are going to be homeless. There are going to be people who are going to be still going to food shelves, eating at soup lines, still living in tents and on the streets. There are going to be people still unemployed. There are going to be people working hard, making less than $15 an hour and $15 an hour. There are going to be people who can't go to college because of the costs. They can't afford the debt, can't even get the loan, so they're going to have to stay out of school. There are going to be people who are going to the hospital incurring debts through the emergency room that they themselves will not be able to pay. And that means that the care that they're going to receive is not going to be the adequate, not going to be the care that money buys. We know that this is a reality. It has always existed, and it is going to continue to exist under the basic principles and guidelines that have been set up. They haven't changed. Sure, we hear people coming by as far on the political scene saying this is what we're going to do and this is what we're going to do, and you got others at the same time saying I'm going to prevent this, I'm going to prevent that. So you got people still at odds with one another. Now, I'm going to speak, and I'm speaking to you, the American people. Now, what I suggest that we be responsible for ourselves. We have these guys who some of you have played a role in putting in office, and they do not care about the masses. They might care about their constituents, and their constituents are those same kind of people that are racists and bigots and haters and the like. That's Republican and Democrat, black and white. So they only reflect what we as a society are. And we are at odds with ourselves. So when they go there, they are at odds with themselves, and nothing gets done because their hands have been tied by our hands, and our hands have been tied by the system that we brought up under. And that is why it's so essential, ladies and gentlemen, that the message I bring to you gets some kind of voice. I want you to know that there is another power. See, this power you can see. This power you can see. All of the pain and suffering that comes from it, you can see it. But there's another power, an invisible power that you can't see. One of the reasons that you can't see it is because you don't understand it, and you can't, because you just can't see what you can't see. But people such as myself, and I just use myself as an example because I can speak for me, but I'll say people such as myself, our message is to say to you that that power exists. Now, the greatest way that we can get that message to you is to act like we are asking you to act. In other words, if this invisible power is much more addressing our concerns, more liberal to our needs and wants, if we can offer allegiance to that invisible power, that means it's no good unless we are loyal to that power. Donald Trump wants you to be loyal to him, to lie and agree with lies if that's what he wants. Now, the invisible power wants that same loyalty. Loyalty for love, not for lies, but for truth. And in the midst of where you live and where they want you to lie and do whatever is necessary, it is your duty that has chosen a different path to represent that path right here. Now, let me give you an example of what I mean. Right here, as an individual separated from the spiritual understanding, you need food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, and a job. You need that. Just as an individual, knowing nothing about God. Okay, let's say you know about God and giving allegiance to God. You need food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, and a job. Right here. Now, over here on this plane, they say in order to get food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, and a job, you got to listen to the system that's built by men. Why? Because they have confiscated all of the resources that they didn't make, they didn't build. This came from the spirit you can't see, can't touch, and can't feel, the invisible power. So they've confiscated it. And now in order for you to get from it what you need to survive, you got to give allegiance to them, whereby they give you money so you can go and get those things that you need. They give you money. And some of them get big money, millions of dollars. You know how they get it. The rich, billions of dollars. Some get millions of dollars, and some get a little less millions, and some of them get $15 an hour, some of them get $5 an hour, and some of them get nothing. They're on the street sign with a sign saying, help me. That's over here. Listening to men. In America, Republicans and Democrats, white and black. This is what you get. Now, listening to the spirit voice, the spirit of love's voice. What you do is that you are here under the power and authority of that love. Each of us allow that love to live in us. This is what allegiance means. This is what loyalty means. You need food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, and all that. All of the resources come from God. And each of you got a gift. I tell you this all the time, a special gift, unique for you. And it's needed in society. Every last one of you got something special that's needed in society. And the society is open under this administration, this kind of love that allows you to engage yourself in a career. Same thing, some people call it jobs, but we call it a career because you love doing it. You just love doing it. And as you engage yourself, why are you doing it? Because this is what you love doing. This is your contribution to life itself. This is your contribution to humanity. And when it all comes together, what comes back out of it? What is the fruit of it? Of your engaging is an overabundance of food, of clothing, of shelter, of education, of health care, and more jobs and jobs, because you're constantly imagining, and from that you got additional things to do. And there's no lying, there's no cheating, there's no stealing, there's no killing. Now we got this vision and the one I just shared with you. This one gives you pain and suffering. This one gives you love and happiness and peace and prosperity and freedom and joy. So what do you choose? You say, well, over here, they have already confiscated everything, and they got laws that will put you in jail or abuse you for going against what they do, and they will even kill you if you don't listen to them. And what will this love God do for you while you stand up to them? Well, this is what I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you this. I can tell you what that God will do. I can tell you what that God can do. Let me back that up. I can tell you what that God can do. Now, I can't tell you what that God will do, because that's a decision that's made by that God. But I can tell you what that God can do. That God can defeat anything that stands up against what's right. Let me tell you one more time. That God can defend against anything that stands up against what's right. Now, if you're serving that God, you're loyal to that God, you believe that that God can do just exactly what it said. If Donald Trump can go and pardon these guys out of prison for being loyal to him, even though they were crooked, what do you think that God would do for you for being loyal to that God when it's truth and love? I rest my case, but the choice is yours. You still need food, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, and a job. And the only way you can do that in an abundance to meet the needs of all the people, everybody engage. And you turn your back on the systems of men that creates pain, suffering, and all those other ugly things. You turn your back on it and you start living. What do you mean? What do you mean turn your back on? Start standing up, telling your politicians and making sure. Now, once you the people agree, you're making sure that your politicians do exactly what needs to be done because you're telling them what needs to be done. You're telling them. They're just getting it done, but you're telling them what needs to be done and how to do it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. I hope this has been beneficial. Goodbye.